Have you ever really stopped and just listened to the sounds we make all day long? Turns out, even the simplest ones, the ones we totally take for granted, they've got these amazing stories. And today, we're going to uncover the hidden music in one of the warmest, most basic sounds in English.
I just love this quote. It really gets to the heart of what we're talking about, doesn't it? The idea that some sounds aren't just noise. They carry a feeling, an emotion. They feel open, round, full of life, just like a good story. And the sound we're diving into today, it is the perfect example of this.
All right, so our main character for this whole explainer is the short O sound. Yeah, think of words like pot, top, and dog. It's a sound that just feels so human, right? It's kind of comforting in how simple it is. So, what's the big deal? What makes this one little vowel so special? Let's get into it. Okay, so to really get a grip on its power, we've got to go from just the feeling of the sound to how we actually physically make it. There's a really simple science behind it, and honestly, it explains everything about why this vowel is such a game changer, especially for kids who are just learning to read.
So, this funky symbol you're looking at, that's the official phonetic symbol for the short O sound. And making it is so simple. Seriously, your jaw just relaxes and drops a little, your tongue stays low, and your lips make this nice round open shape. It's just a quick, soft bounce of sound. Go on, try it with me. Like in the word pot.
And check this out, this comparison really shows you what I'm talking about. Just look at the shape your mouth makes. For that short O in a word like cot, your mouth is open and really round. But for the short A in cat, totally different. It's way wider, flatter. And that super clear physical difference, that is absolutely crucial for learners.
So here's the real takeaway from all that. That open quality we're talking about, it's not just a physical thing. It's what makes the sound so incredibly easy for teachers to show and, more importantly, for kids to feel and copy. It's also just naturally expressive, which is exactly why it works so well when you're telling a story.
Okay, so how does this one little sound build into something bigger? I mean, learning to read isn't about memorizing a million different words, right? No way. It's all about spotting the patterns. And this is where the short O just completely shines. It creates this rhythm that helps everything, and I mean everything, just click. We usually think of repetition as, boring, right? Just endless drills. But when it comes to phonics, it's totally different. Here, repetition isn't boring, it's rhythm. And just like a catchy song, that rhythm is what makes the information stick in your brain, not because you're trying so hard, but because you just get into the flow of it. And this is how you build that rhythm. It's all about word families. Just look at these patterns. Once a kid gets the op sound, bam, they can suddenly read top, mop, and hop. And it's the same thing for ot, og, and ox. Can you imagine? This is such a massive confidence booster. It completely transforms reading from some impossible puzzle into a fun, predictable game. All right, so we get the patterns. We see the logic. Now what? How do we bring all this to life? Well, the key is to stop thinking of them as boring rules you have to memorize. Instead, you treat them like instructions for a game. It's all about learning through play. And believe it or not, there's actually a pretty structured way to do this. A lot of teachers use a framework like this 5-step model. It's basically a roadmap that shows you the path, from hearing a single sound for the very first time, all the way to using it naturally in a story. It's just a logical journey from one tiny piece to the whole shebang. And here's that final step, story integration in action. So a child might be reading a simple little story packed with these sounds like, Tom had a dog, the dog sat on a log. See, they're not sitting there consciously thinking, d-a-j. No, they're just caught up in the story, and they blend the sounds without even trying. That's the magic of subconscious learning, and the short O is absolutely perfect for it. And to really make sure that learning sticks, you got to bring in movement and play. We're talking about things like sorting picture cards, hopping on big words written on floor mats, or even just clapping along to a silly rhyme. All these things connect the sound to a physical action, which basically cements it deep inside a child's memory. Okay, so let's just zoom back out for a second. What does all of this really point to? It's a much bigger, more universal idea, really. The rhythm of reading, it isn't just something you hear with your ears. Sound, especially when we're first learning it, is something we actually feel with our whole body. And really, this is the core takeaway of everything we've talked about. When learning becomes a full body experience, when a kid literally hops on a word or claps out a rhyme,
They're not just memorizing something, they are embodying it. It actually becomes a part of who they are.
Now, of course, learning is never a perfectly straight line, right? There are always going to be bumps in the road. And one of the most common hurdles with the short O is mixing it up with the short A sound. You know, a kid sees the word cot and says cat. It's a super easy mistake to make.
But the fix for this is so simple, and it honestly ties everything we've discussed together. You don't just say, nope, that's wrong. Instead, you gently correct. By physically showing them, you exaggerate that round mouth shape for the ah sound. You're giving them visual, tactile, and auditory feedback all at once. And that's what makes a correction actually stick.
And that really brings us full circle. The short O, it's so much more than just a letter on a page, isn't it? It's a feeling, it's a shape, it's a rhythm. It reminds us that language is something physical, something musical, which just leaves me with one last question for you to think about. What other hidden music is out there, waiting in the words we use every single day?